Still stumping for Trump. I know it's backwards because that's what the camera does. I can't believe that. There's no way to make it right, is there? Anyway, you get the idea. Let's talk Trump's attributes. They all keep saying that Trump has no experience. Well, I don't know. For a man who got $1 million from his dad, which most of us don't, most of us get, half our house paid for or bought when we get married or something like that. But if you got the money, why not do it? I mean, if I had $1 million and my son was getting married or going out on his own, I'm sure I'd give him $250,000 to give him a hands up, especially in today's age where our dollar, almost 46 cents of it goes to the government. And I really like Trump's plan on 15% tax for businesses because I am a small business. And last year alone, we paid, $17,000 just for license and plates for our trucks. And no, I don't give them to my local county assessor, and I'll tell you why. I register my vehicles in another county because they're a smaller county and they could use the money. My county gets a lot of money, that gets a lot of free money. And these guys up here are experts at applying for grants and free cash from the government. But none of them go ahead and think about, well, gee, that puts us $19 trillion in debt every time we, apply for more grant money for shit we don't need. So I work hard on the local front and try to get them to understand that that's not free money. It comes from somewhere, whether it's my tax dollar or your tax dollar in New Mexico. They're taking money that's adding only to the debt of our nation. And, I didn't get help opening my business. I had to pay for it. I had to, take a loan out at the bank and put up a, collateral. So I'm not real keen on this Wyoming Business Council that we have because the only ones that get the money are the ones that really don't need it and they could go to the bank and borrow it. Now, if they wanted to help a small mom and pop shop get up off the ground, with some new innovative idea, I'm all for that, but that's not what they do. So anyway, let's get back to why I support Trump. A, he's a businessman, and whether we like it or not, America is going to have to be run like a business. We have been running so long that the wheels are coming off. The wasteful spending on $500 hammers, $3,000, toilet seats, like the EPA paying people who aren't even showing up for work or sitting around watching pornography all day. That's just something I listened to the other day on the state or the government committee boards, with Trey and Mr. Shafaz. The wasteful spending alone would build the wall the wall along the border. The wasteful spending alone would feed all of our programs that are necessary to the ones struggling the most right now. The government waste is what needs to be rung in. And also, while we're talking about government waste, I refuse to let my tax dollars pay for illegal immigrants' welfare checks. It's wrong. If you want to come to America, you do it the right way, and that's it. These refugees that are being flooded upon us, I'm over it. I do not want them here. Have you seen what these people do? They have a day of the year that they walk around and kill nothing but animals all fucking day, and the streets are red with blood. That's not Christianity. That's not even a religion. That's a devil sacrifice, is what it is. That religion is so fucked up morally, it couldn't find its way with a compass. So I'm against the refugees. I see what's going on over in Europe and even in London. They got this kookin' mayor over in London. And the first thing I thought of, the guy needs to go be a goat fucker, because that's what he is. I wonder how old his wife is. 4? That's their religion. That's what they do. And I have no room in my heart for bleeding over that. And the reason they want these guys is for 2 huge reasons. 1, the money that's involved in bringing these pricks over here. These Lutheran churches and these bleed heart non-governmental organizations make a lot of money on bringing heads into the country for their little non-profits, right? Well, that's one of our biggest problems. We need to go through again and take the power away from these non-governmental agencies that are doing this, that are doing anything like this. They are not elected officials. They are not being held accountable for their decision-making processes, and they pay themselves huge sums of money for doing nothing but working against our American patriot, Constitution-loving Americans. So, sorry about the cussing, guys. I'll put language explicit in my video or in my video part of this. But you know, I am mad. I'm 52 years old, and I never ever thought I would see us give up a stadium for them sons of bitches to hold their midday pray to Allah. Okay, you want to pray to Allah? Got a boat ticket for you. You can go back to your country, put a gun on, and fight to live the way you want to live. But you know what? You either adapt to this country and run by our laws, or I'm going to run your ass out. That's no way about it for me. You know, my dad was a police officer, and I went through the riots in 1967. I was just a kid then, but I can remember the horror I felt as me and my 5 brothers and sisters got in the car when Dad came home with a bullet in his butt because he had been shot in downtown Detroit. And that's where we're headed with this, but it's only worse. These guys have bombs. They have guns. They're not just throwing bricks anymore. It's changed. And Obama took the riots of 67 and he made it happen all over again by supporting the Black Lives Matter. We understand you guys are frustrated. We know that there is corruption in everything from the top down, but we can't fix it overnight. And adding to the degree of instability is not helping the situation. Most of the black folks that I know, because I was born and raised in Detroit, and I've spent a lot of time on the internet with them lately, and you know, visiting with what their concerns are. And you know what they tell me? Judy, we just want to go to work. We want our jobs back. We want our pride back. You know, a black man is just like a white man. When he goes to work and he works his butt off all day long, and he goes home and his wife and kids are, you know, in the kitchen sitting around the dinner table and talking about their day at school and what they learned, they want the same thing. They don't want all these drugs coming across the border. They don't want these shootings in their streets. And the only ones that are going to abide by gun laws are the ones that own guns legally. I don't like gun registration. I don't. I don't mind the background check. I think that's okay. But you know what? The guns that are on the streets, they were stolen. 9/10 of them are stolen from somebody, you know. So maybe gun safety gun control starts at home. You know, it's nothing to buy a safe anymore, or a gun lock, or a safe. You know, any of that. I mean, if you're a serious gun owner, we take precautions. We always have. But sometimes you get some, you know, punk that breaks in your house and steals your .45 from out from under the mattress. And that's where those guns come from. They don't come from, you know, a thug walking into a gun store saying, yeah, I want to buy an AK-47. That's just not what happens. So their gun control is way off whack. I'm getting off track here, aren't I? And I'm starting to ramble. But there's just so many issues. But I think the whole thing's going to come down to, we want jobs. People want to work. They want to have pride in their daily lives, you know. And they want freedom to be able to go to church and worship their God, which in the United States, there's only a couple of them. And Muslim and Islam and Allah is not one of them. We were started as a Christian nation. Our forefathers were Christians. Um, and it doesn't matter if you're a Protestant or any of that. You still believe there's still the basic things, that there is a creator, and that creator wants us to love one another and to be our brother's keepers and things like that. Allah has none of that in theirs. It's full of molesting children, marrying brides, mutilation of genitalia of women. And the thing about that bothers me the most is, we keep letting these young guys in. You know who taught that stuff to them, right? That's their mothers, man. So don't give me some refugee woman in a burqa with five kids, 4 boys, and they're flipping off the camera and making the sign when they arrive on my soil. Don't give me that. I'm for, like Trump said, let's just stop all influx. Let's take an example from Europe. Put the skids to the whole damn thing for now. Let the rest of the world deal with it. I don't see Saudis taking them in. I don't see Japan taking them in. North Korea, South Korea, Germany's a mess. In fact, the gal over there just admitted today that she's sorry that she can't turn back time. I mean, let's heed the warnings. They're there.